even, I wasn't aware that I had to have a different license. I was supposed to have a Class E license to work for them. And they hire people without the proper license to drive there. I just had a regular driver's license.
You even had a Class E license?
No, I didn't have I've never had a Class E license. I never, the DMV is actually closed down at the time, and I wasn't able to get it. And they said they need drivers. Started letting me work there. Basically, that's why I felt like they were treating me like that, because because the DMV is closed, but I didn't license that they wanted me to get.
Did you go to City Hall and receive a hacker's license?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't even know about any of that stuff. Like I literally went there, and the guy asked me for $175. I gave him $175. He had the keys to it. He had me drive up the street, get my picture taken at the office, and I started working that same day. I mean, that was it.
Wow.
You
said your buddy or your friend had gotten you a job, and
yeah, my friend had been working for him for a while, and he had gotten a couple of quick jobs. And the guy asked him if he knew anybody else, and I actually had seen it on a Facebook post that a friend of mine had put up. How I got in contact with the guy.
Now, for HIPAA reasons, I'm not allowed to ask you who your friend is, but do you know anything about how long your friend worked there, or did he?
Yeah, he actually was working there in 2019, and he worked there all throughout, or on and off between April of this year. He had got an accident, and insurance had paid for it, and they got paid for it. They made a claim, and he had by a pickup truck that had gone through a light and hit him at the back end, so it was not his fault technically. And the car actually got paid for, but they were garnishing his wages and making him pay for it. And when he contacted the Department of Labor, started contacting people to see if it was legal for them to do that, since they had gotten paid for it, then they started threatening to fire him, and then so he stopped doing that. And then
were they physically assaultive on him at all?
And that was in 20 when I worked for it. This happened to him. It ended in April. They gave him his job back, and he was working for a couple of weeks, and he got his regular passengers back, one of them being me. And I was riding with them for a while, and then the one day, he said there's lug nuts. They came out and they put more lug nuts on his car, and he took the car and because it's a check engine light on, and they told him it'd be fine to pass inspection, so he took it to a garage, and when he had it checked out, and they said there was a lot of stuff wrong with the car, and that it wasn't past inspection, and somehow someone, I don't know if someone at the garage knew the owner or something like that. The guy, someone actually called him and told him he had brought the car in. My friend wasn't intending on getting any work done on it. He wanted to know if it was okay to fix. And the next day, they asked him to bring the car. They were going to work on it, and they never gave it back to him. And it was about a week before they finally told him he was fired. I mean, he had to like go there multiple times, and before they finally told him that he was fired. And that was, like I said, in April of this year, finally.
April, are you sure of the date completely?
I don't know the exact date. I do know it was April 22.
Wow. And he also had the same bosses as you did, I take it?
Yes. He had the same bosses that I had when I was there back in 2000, because he was the one who referred me to them. So.
And you said that the name of their company was, what was it, Kaizen?
Yeah, it was KAIZEN Transportation, like Kaizen Transportation.
Kaizen?
Like a Kaiser roll, like you know what a Kaiser roll is?
Yes.
Yeah, spelled like that.
Did this boss, did he work, it was just him and his mechanic? And where was this shop located?
Well, the shop was originally located right down the street from the Liberty main office, which I believe is on Kenmore Avenue, I think. And that was when I worked for him. And my friend, for him, he ended up switching locations and moved over for the place.
So
in Buffalo, 181 Botsford Place in Buffalo. You got that?
Is it 81 Botsford Place?
81 Botsford Place, yeah.
Yeah. Other than them garnishing him do you know what amount of money they'd taken from him?
I know that. We were roommates. We lived together from December till April, and I know when the accident and they started asking him to pay it back. He did used to get checks from them, and his checks would be for a high amount. They'd be between like 700 to 800 a week, and then it went to this started in 2021. After he crashed the car. He didn't crash the car. So 2021 he crashed the car.
I see there was an accident on May 21st of 2021.
What?
I see there's a record that there was an accident with that company car that you just described that occurred on May 21st of 2021.
Yes. Was that a Honda?
A Honda Civic?
Yes, the Honda. Yep.
2000 Honda Civic?
Yep. That was the exact car that he had, and he had a Superman decal on the bumper. And he went into the bumper? He had a Superman decal on the bumper stick on the bumper. It was silver. It was meant to look like a decal.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a Superman logo. But yeah, that was the car that they told me had him pay off, and they told him that the car was worth like $22,000 or something like that.
Wow.
And according to, this is what he told me. He said $2,000 up front, and then the rest of it was supposed to get taken out of his paychecks. And it got to a point where, it was like he was 2 months when he thought he was supposed to be done paying them, and they were still taking the money, I guess. And because he was still getting his paychecks were, only like 120, to maybe 200 every week, and before that they were, like I said, 7 to 8 something. So, he was still getting that much, and every time when he would ask questions about it and, talk about going to, talk to somebody about it and see if it was legal or whatever, then they would, that's when they would, that's when they would get rid of him again.
Was there any point that they were taking his entire check, or were they taking portions, or?
I mean, like I said, I got a thing in the mail around tax time last year during tax time, because like I said, I worked for them in 2020. So in 2021 tax season, I got a W-2 from Kaizen Transportation.
A W-2?
Yeah, I got a W-2 from them, saying that not a 1099.
Oh.
And saying that he had paid me a check for, I think one of them was $120, and the other one was somewhere similar to around the amount. I don't really remember, because like I said, this was the beginning of 2021, and I didn't even pay any mind to it, because I didn't even make any, they never gave me any checks. I never cashed any checks from them. So I didn't know what that was even about.
Yeah, according to an individual that had put in a complaint, they sent over copies of these pay stubs, and they look like they are personal checks almost.
Yeah, yes, they are personal checks. Yes, exactly. Every week, my friend when he would ask the payroll stubs, they were all of his checks were given to him, personal checks to Slav's bank account or Kaizen Transportation, and Slav would be the one who signed it.
Wow.
So the personal checks he signed. What he would say they were payroll, but weren't payroll, and it was almost like he was determining what he thought was the tax should be taken out, and would get a number, that like he would take what you're supposed to get and subtract like $50 and some change or something like that, to make it seem like if his taxes got taken out or something,
Yeah.
It was, he was just, he wasn't.
It's usually a 1099, and it's the tax free until the end of the year, and then
right,
that person has to, get a tax agent, H&R Block or, an agent.
Right, and they tell you how much you owe and stuff. Yeah.
Correct.
No, yeah, they had actually, they made it. When I got the pay stub, I had gotten, like I said, I had gotten pay stubs from them, and it wasn't really even, it didn't even look like a pay stub. It was just, it had his name, and it had the company's name, and all it said was the amount that the check was for. It didn't have all that your FICA crap on there, or I think it was, but didn't have any of that other stuff on there. It was just like, from. And when I got the checks that my friend would get, the checks that I saw that he was getting, they were definitely personal checks. They were not payroll checks.
Was he ever making
boss was paying him personal checks? But like I said, they were garnishing him because they said he needed to pay for the car. You know,
Wow.
they had dropped from, like I said, 700 down to like in between 100 and 200 he would get every week from us.
Yes, this individual reported that there's been months that he went without getting paid at all and filed.
Yeah, yes, there was. Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, I don't know every dollar that he made. You know what I mean? But I definitely was witness to some, you know, quite a few shady things.
Have you witnessed any sort of stalking or any type of thing that alarmed your friend that made him call 911 or anything like that?
I know. I don't know if he called 911, but I know one time when we were in the car and he we were driving and he was coming to drop me off at my house, and he was my driver after he moved out of here in March, and he was still my driver though, and he was driving me, and we were on the sky, and his boss, who never sent him a text message, they have their phone and their tablet set up in the center console, and he went to go around the person that was in front of us, and when he looked over, it was the boss. The boss was driving and to the same place we were going, which was my house, and he after that, after my friend had passed him, he got behind us. My friend asked him, he said, "Hey, what do you do here?" He didn't answer him, and I mean, I knew the guy because I had seen him before. I worked for him, and my friend worked for him, so he saw him every week. And he was in a Prius, same kind of cars that I drive and everything, and he just, yeah.
Do you remember the color of the car?
I don't remember.
You there? I think you might. Oh, yeah. I don't know if we got disconnected for a brief second. Or...
I might have left service, but I teal, like a teal color or a bluish colored one,
Yeah.
something like that. And he was wearing I remember he was wearing like a teal jacket, and but he's tan. He looked right over at both of us as we passed him,
Wow. And
And
any reason that the boss would have been on the Skyway that day?
I have no idea. I don't know where the guy lives or anything like that, so I don't know. I would assume that he would just be at a shop.
Yeah. Wow. So, like the teal Prius, like cut in front of him, and the boss, you said.
And then my friend went around. Then my friend went around him, and we looked over at the guy. He looked over at us, and we could see him. And my friend just kept driving straight forward. And then he was behind us, and then my friend the text and what are you doing out here? And the guy just didn't answer him. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he ended up calling 911 or anything though. I don't think so. And not that I know of though. He could have.
That he made, but that was in regards to a different vehicle that was stalking his home, I guess.
Outside of his newer apartment.
Yes. He said,
Yeah, there was someone that kept coming outside of his new apartment. But I mentioned earlier with the lug nuts on the car that someone when he still had X, someone was messing with the tires on his car. And the person who lived in the apartment across the parking lot from him um, wouldn't let him look at video footage of because he had a camera that pointed down because the car was parked right next to him. And they just said they didn't want. They just said they didn't want to get involved.
wow. Do you know of any incidents of his apartment going up for sale or anything like that?
Yes, one day, I never met the guy. The his his landlord didn't say it was up for sale, but two people showed up at the house and said they were there to look at the house or look at the property because it was up for sale. And my friend hadn't gotten any sort of notification from his landlord at all that it was for sale. And I guess when he left after they were there. And when he came back later in the day, one of the other neighbors was outside having a cigarette, I guess, and he said he asked them if they knew anything about the people that were there earlier, and that they said the same thing, but that after they left, another guy showed up and said he was a realtor also, and he was there to check up on it. And I guess they described the guy to him and what he looked like, and these people just came walking into his apartment. You know what I mean? And his apartment, no notice, no nothing like that. They just put the key in, but he had the chain lock on, thank God. But they just showed up and walked in like without any sort of notification. But anyway, the other guy, he said matched the description of this other guy who last time he had went to uh, they had removed him from the building, and he thought that he felt like that guy was there specifically to try. I wasn't there, but this is just what I heard from him. I wasn't there for he wasn't the guy being there. This,
Like I said, I'm not allowed to say your buddy's name because of HIPAA reasons, but you can say his name. I can't personally say his name, but
right. Oh yeah, no, I've known him. It's my buddy Sal. I've known him for years.
yeah.
I've known him since since I was a teenager. We grew up in the same city, same school.
Was there any reason for did anything happen after this other realtor? I've gotten a complaint basically stating that the other realtor fit the description of the Liberty manager, Brian.
He told actually I was with him when he went to his landlord's shop. His landlord owned an ATV shop, and he went there and asked him about the realtors and stuff. And this guy said he didn't, he told that the guy's name was Brian. Brian was the same name of the guy that was at the company that he used to work for. So it could have been a coincidence, but couldn't it not have been,
Yeah, a heavy set bald guy named Brian. Have you ever witnessed or seen this gentleman before?
I haven't seen him, no.
No. Is there anything else that your buddy did after? I mean, like what concluded? Like what happened after the lug nuts were taken off his tire? I mean,
Oh, after lugging there, I'm pretty sure he took the car and got, and then they said something to him about an accident, and they told him he needed to bring the car in, and he brought the car in, and they just oh no, actually after the lug nuts, he took the car to the shop, and they were supposed to do the inspection soon. He took it to the other garage, and they told him it wouldn't pass inspection. And instead of picking the car up that night, he asked the garage if he could leave it there overnight and pick it up in the morning. And in the morning, his boss showed up before he did and picked up the car, and they didn't answer his calls for, like I said, like about a week. It took them about a week to tell him that he was fired. They kept telling him that they were fixing the car and they're waiting to get another car. And then after a few days went by, they said that that he was fired. I mean, they would fire, and they said it was for no show.
For what?
Said to be honest, no call, no show.
No call, no show.
But yeah, his just never gave him another car.
How was your buddy's time in attendance for that company? I mean, was he taking days off? Was he?
No, I mean he drove me every single day from August of 2000 until he didn't drive me for a while over the winter because they had actually, like I said, they had fired him for he got fired in December of 21, and they had him come back at the end of or in the middle of January 21, and I switched back. And I was with him until they fired him again in April, I believe.
But he was reliable. He didn't take days off.
No, he worked every day. He 7 days a week.
Did your buddy? I got a report that states that this individual fled state. You know anything about him fleeing the state?
Yes.
It says in my report that this individual fled state after.
As far as I know, he was. I mean, I know he went to Florida. He said he was going to Florida to see his brother. But that was after he had already been fired from Liberty.
When they took the cab back.
Yeah, he didn't drive. He took a plane to to Florida.
Was there
and he got a rental and drove a rental car back.
When he took a plane, do you know anything about his plane emergency landing at all?
Yeah, we have this app, and it's called Life 360, and so me and one other person were connected to it, and it was basically a live GPS of where the person was, and he had called me the one morning, and I didn't answer it, but when I looked at the app, it said he was in North Carolina. And I know he had bought tickets through Spirit Airline, and they were supposed to, he showed me the tickets. They said Buffalo to Florida. There was no overlay, no nothing. He bought a one-way ticket. And the next thing I knew, he sent me 2 or 3 videos of one of the plane landing. And while they were landing, there were, like flashing lights. And then another one where he...
Flashing lights?
Yeah, like flashing lights. Yeah, emergency lights. And another, as they were sitting on the plane, there was, fire and police cars outside. And, you can see him and they got a double paned window inside of an airplane. You can see his reflection showing back in there, and, you can hear him commentating. And then once they all left the plane, said that he got off the plane, and they made everyone, get checked out, and he had to put on 2 EKG stickers. And I have no idea why he would make this up, so that's why it seems so to me. He tried finding afterwards. He has all this video proof and stuff, but he contacted them afterwards, and they sent him a voucher. They sent him a travel voucher for his bad experience. But they're claiming that nothing happened and that the plane didn't have the emergency land, that was just the normal layover. And he didn't get layover tickets. When I was with him, he bought direct tickets. So while he was in North Carolina, they had to get tickets to go from North Carolina, or they were going to in Florida, which I believe was Tampa. I think he went to. I'm not sure.
Buffalo to Orlando with the Frontier Airlines.
Oh, yeah, Orlando, okay.
And it says that this Frontier airline made it from Buffalo to Orlando on June 11th. It departed at 8:25, and it said it arrived in Orlando 2 hours and 48 minutes later.
Yeah, he spent an entire 12 to 13 hours at this airport in North Carolina, because I could see on the app that he wasn't moving. He was at the airport, and he was just walking around the airport, and, I was talking to him on the phone, and he was telling me that they had to wait there until the next flight going to Florida. So, he hasn't been able to get any luck with that at all.
Wow.
I mean, I know, but he has video proof and everything like that, of the day of and everything, it's their time stamps, all that stuff.
Wow.
There's no
for flying to Florida?
Huh?
You know what his purpose was to fly out to Florida?
Hang on one second. It's my Taylor. He has a brother in Florida.
A brother?
Yeah, he has a brother that lives in Florida, yes.
So he's just going there to visit his brother?
That's what he said.
He didn't have the particular reason for the visit? It was just a family visit? Or?
Well, I think he was going to his brother for advice about if there was anything he could do about what had happened with Liberty and stuff like that. I guess his brother is I don't know. his brother's older than him. He looks up to him and stuff, and I don't know, pretty much one of his only family members. So yeah, I think he was just going to him for advice on what to do.
His brother, I got a statement that says his brother's got a PhD in cybersecurity.
What's that?
I got a statement that says that his brother had a PhD in cybersecurity and is a pilot himself. You there?
Please leave your message. 7166589.
Try one more time.
Hello?
Hey, sorry about that. This is Josh again with Medicaid on a recorded line.
Yeah, sorry. I think he must have disconnected.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to take up more of your time. It's just basically I got a statement that states his brother has a PhD in cybersecurity and that his brother was a pilot.
I knew that his brother dealt in cybersecurity, and that has something to do with his phone. Have problems with his phone and his devices at home. Maybe when he was living where I live, his phone and his internet kept trying to get accessed by 81 Boxford Place, and after he moved and got new internet, it started happening again. And so he wanted to know if he was going to his brother to see if there could possibly be any sort of connection between that and me and them, or what,
Wait,
or if it could have been his phone.
You said that it said that his phone was at 81 Boxford Place?
Yeah, he has to go on his phone constantly, and his Google account will be logged in like it'll be on like 5 different devices with they just have a bunch of random letters and numbers, and he'll have to log them out of it, log his Google account out of it, and one of them always shows up at 81 Boxford Place. So
do you think there's any correlation?
I mean, it sounds crazy, but to me, but I can't. I think so. I don't know what. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they were dealing with something else there, maybe, and he saw something he was supposed to see, or what, and that's why they wanted him to stop working there. I have no friggin' clue. I can only speculate at this point. But yeah, I wasn't aware that his brother had killed him, so I didn't know that. I did not know that. Yeah.
So, were you a witness to seeing his phone located at 81 Botsford Place?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it said he was logged in at 81 Boxford Place. We were on his phone in our house.
Where was he residing at that time?
Yeah, where he was here, yeah. And it would say that his phone, like his Google, was logged into a laptop at 81 Boxford Place.
While he was living on which address? Sandburg? Or
Yeah, we we were living at 3751 Lakeshore Road. That's where I currently still live. He was living here at the time also. And this was around the time that they fired him in middle of December 2020. that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Justin, I appreciate your time. I don't want to take up more of your time. Like I said, this is, all of our calls are recorded and stuff. So this statement
Right.
that you gave
Right.
is going to be very great, very helpful.
Okay. Right. Okay. No problem.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Tell him it was me, but I couldn't do it. But this is gonna go on YouTube. I'll let him find out that way. So that's another verbal confession of what happened with me working for Liberty Yellow. Yeah. This is Josh with Medicaid. I love you. I fucking love you. Oh yeah, you did. You got pretty much every fucking detail.
Yeah, I added in extras.
I wanted to tell you it was me at the end of it so bad, but I was like,
I had a feeling that it was you, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Because when the guy was like, for HIPAA reasons, we can't say your friend's name. Obviously, if you said it, that'd be okay, but, we just can't say it. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I've known him since, I was a teenager, high school. I knew you when I was, 19. I met you when I was, 18 years old. I was like, yeah, I've known him my whole life. It's my buddy Sal.
Yeah.
I didn't say your last name or nothing, but I figured if they just at least had that your name like that, but I was so happy though too. That's why I was calling you, because I was like, yo,